Hey there, Shortcuts. Here we are with the second video for this week's price list. This will go out at 9 p.m. or thereabouts on Wednesday, the 8th of July. It's another Origin night, so we'll see. It'll probably be pretty quiet, but that hasn't stopped me putting together a good list. I have a really good list of Japanese records earlier, and this is another selection from the collection that I've been dipping into over the last few weeks that I think you guys might like. All right. If you would like to buy these records, drop me an email, Stephen at shortcutsrecords.com.au, and I'll add you to the price list. All right, here we go. I don't usually have too many Jimi Hendrix records on my list for various reasons, but I had one on the Japanese list, Axis Bold as Love, Cry of Love, and this one I have Axis Bold as Love. This I'm going to spend a little bit more time talking about the various presses of this particular selection because that's one of the beauties of this collection. The wide variety of presses that this person collated over the years, and they're all in wonderful condition. He kept them brilliantly. This is a US press. Now, it's not a first press. I think I'm going to work it out exactly. I'm pretty sure it's a 70s US press, but is in magnificent condition. RS 6281. The orange label reprise has this unusual bag that it's come in. I'll just show you it in a second. This is and it's a really nice gatefold. So yeah, this is Jimmy's, what was it, his second record, released 1967, and kind of the interim between Are You Experienced and then the Balls Out Electric Ladyland, but really, obviously, a beautiful Jimmy record. So yeah, what I'm finding in his selections is that he's very careful about what he's bought and obviously what he's kept. And when there are multiple versions of an album, and there is a situation quite a few times where there are multiples, I can understand why. It's kind of interesting. Not very many Aussie presses, but there is a few exceptions, and this is one. This is Warehouse Songs and Stories, another double LP. This is Husker Du from 1987. This is actually an Australian first press, and that's interesting because I have an Australian first press of this record as well. I'm a big Bob Mould fan, and I think it's really good. And I suppose he must have made a calculation that it's really good. I mean, Husker Du just defined, I suppose, this harsh, guitar-driven, highly melodic sound out of Minneapolis, and it's where really hardcore, American-style hardcore became melodic alternative rock, and then Bob Mould and Grant Hart leads to Sugar, a fantastic 90s band that will appear in this list at some point in the future as well. So this 1987, this was their sixth and final studio album following Candy Apple Grey. And I think, honestly, just about every Husker Du album is worth having. This was a bit more ambitious and seen as a little bit more polarizing because the songwriting is a bit more ambitious on this one, and and that is part of the reason why I really like it. It's huge, raw, emotional music. Could You Be the One, Ice Cold Ice, She's a Woman, Standing in the Rain. These important years, I can just round them off. It's just really good. I mean, it charted modestly like most Husker Du records, but it has a huge amount going for it. Really interesting album. And yeah, I'm really happy to put that one forward. Now, last week I had a US Aretha Franklin, and there are a number of really high quality US soul records in the collection, and I've pulled out 2 here today. I have got, these are both US first presses, Al Green's Call Me and Al Green's Let's Stay Together. I think with High Records and Willie Mitchell, Al Green made a run of records in the 70s, from like 70 to 76, that are as good as anything made in that decade. As good as the run by Pink Floyd, as good as the run by, pick your classic act from that time. This, Call Me from 1973 and Let's Stay Together the year before, 1972, are probably, alongside I'm Still in Love with You, the cornerstones. And to be honest, they're all masterpieces. It's just that romantic soul version, and a lot of these American presses all came with the proper sleeves. I'll show you the label. I love the High Records label, the silver label. Just amazing records. And again, if you haven't got any of those smooth melodic records, the other artist from this period who also was on High Records, also produced by Willie Mitchell, who you'll all remember me talking about, is Ann Peebles. And both Ann Peebles and Al Green have this magical ability to sing around the melody without and between the lines in a way that your ears just perk up and you just lean into what they're doing. And it's very different to modern singing styles where the microphone is held really close, where producers want you almost to hear the mouth shape. Whereas Ann Peebles and Al Green, and what he was leaning into as a producer, was that nothing was ever too obvious, and subtlety pricks the ear. And so therefore you can just listen to these records over and over again. Truly, truly wonderful. They're so intimate. He also had some interesting New Zealand presses. So this is one that I pulled out on the London label. This is the New Zealand first press of Al Green's Greatest Hits 2, which features Love and Happiness, Take Me to the River, For the Good Times, Living for You, Full of Fire, produced by Willie Mitchell and Al Green. Again, a really cool record, and just not typical of what you find in Aussie collections. So, so 3 Al Green records there that I think are really interesting. He also collected up Record Store Day presses and audiophile presses from about 2000 to about 2015. So I've got a couple here. This is a really interesting one. This is the 2014 audiophile repress of Marquee Moon that came out on Rhino. This was pressed at RTI. It's got really great reviews. I've got multiple copies of this record now, so I just thought I'd put this one out there because of the sleeve and everything. It's in lovely condition. Honestly, it is like new. It's just beautiful condition. And Marquee Moon would probably, on any day, be in my top 5 records of all time. I think it's a perfect album. I love everything about it, and I could wax lyrical about every single track. You've all heard me say in the past how Friction is my favorite. Obviously, the title track is a legend. Everything about it is lean and tense and luminous. The guitar interplay, second to none. The almost snotty quality of the vocal delivery, just transcending the music. It's just a magical record. Just magical. All right. Now, there are a few odd little records and bits and pieces that are in here as well. So how about this? The Pick of Destiny by Tenacious D, still in the shrink. I think this is a repress from around about the same era. So I am no Tenacious D expert, but I understand that these records are deliberately ridiculous but musically quite serious, and a lot of people love them. So there you go. Not one that I was expecting to see in there. Now, there's a couple of Maiden records in this list, including this, which again is a repress from this same era. Probably, I think this one might be a little bit earlier. I'll confirm when I used to, maybe I made some notes. 2014 European press of Peace of Mind. So obviously everything Maiden is ridiculous and operatic and gigantic and kind of, I suppose, deliberately trying to create a gargantuan everything, whether it be the operatic vocals or those chugging guitars or everything about them, 18-minute epics, which we'll come back to a little bit later in the list. From Peace of Mind, I really like Flight of Icarus. And is this the album that has the Trooper? Oh, maybe not. Flight of Icarus, Where Eagles Dare. No, it does. Opening track side 2, the Trooper. I'm not mad. All right. Hey, as I mentioned, some just wonderful presses. US, nearly always US presses of soul records. 3+3, the Isley Brothers, a really, really beautiful gatefold. Look at that. This is on the T-neck label. So this was repress. I suspect this was kind of 70s as well. Clean as a whistle, just a beautiful thing. Great sound. Played it earlier. I love the Isley Brothers. The guitar playing, Ernie Isley's just amazing. And again, influenced by Hendrix, who we were just talking about. Listen to the music, Summer Breeze. It's just a magical record. Hip hop samples rife through this record. I also really liked some UK stuff. So there's some FX Twin in there, lots of Chemical Brothers, and some Jamiroquai. And this is the UK and Europe gatefold first press of Synchronized. I suppose, I don't know, more of the kind of coming out of the acid jazz scene more than trip hop, but yeah, really successful, obviously. Really nice to see that in there as well. That's the final tranche is a little bit more eclectic. We have McDonald and Giles, early 70s. I think this might be a UK. Yeah, this is a UK gatefold. I really, really love this record. These were both founding members of King Crimson, and this is their self-titled debut album. And it is, I think, one of progressive rock's great what if records. It arrived just as they left King Crimson, and it's a little bit softer. It's a little bit more intimate. It's very lyrical and very musical. I don't find it as indulgent or diffuse as King Crimson personally. I like how kind of pastoral it is. But you know what? They never really went anywhere. This was as good as it got. And I love this UK press. It's really, really nice. There's a bunch of Jeff Beck in here. So I think this is an appeal. If there are any of you out there who are Jeff Beck fans, there are multiple represses of everything Beck. Some real rarities as well. So if you are a Jeff Beck fan, ping me, stephen@shortcutsrecords.com.au, and you can have a look. I've got a copy of Beckola here. I think this is a US repress from 1970 odd. But as I said, just about everything, including some really rare live records and things like that. So well worth pinging me if you are into Jeff Beck. I mentioned Maiden earlier. How about this? So he has collected the 2017 European first press of Maiden's triple album, The Book of Souls, and it weighs about 3 kilos. It's got just all sorts of goodies in there. For those of you who are your Maiden fans, you will know and love this record. But also, that's from 2015. That's the European first press. I think it was their like 15th or 16th record. But also the accompanying live album that came with it, called The Book of Souls, the live chapter, which was released a couple of years later. Now this features obviously a bunch of tracks from the Book of Souls, but also I mentioned The Trooper earlier, Power Slave, Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden, The Number of the Beast, Wasted Years. So yeah, and if they've been played a couple of times, that's all it could possibly be. So yeah. All right, I have 4 quirky little records to finish, all of which I think give you a really good sense of what this collection's all about and why I'll continue to dip into it over the next few months. This is David Bowie narrating Peter and the Wolf, the Eugene Ormandy and the Philadelphia Orchestra. And so this is a US first press of this record. I also have, there's quite a lot of Laurie Anderson in there, and I picked this one out because it's a promo copy, and this is Home of the Brave, soundtrack co-produced by Roma Baran and Laurie Anderson. So this is interesting. You've got Adrian Belew from King Crimson, so you can get those connections. This is Laurie Anderson really kind of, I said, crossed over from the avant-garde space with the success of Oh Superman, and this is kind of part live, part studio reconstruction, and it's really rhythmic, really interesting. Nile Rodgers is in the mix here as well. I guess just again really quirky and interesting. If you're a Richard Thompson fan, again, reach out to me. There is just about every record he ever did. I just picked out this one, which is from let me get the date. I wrote it down here, from 1986. This is Daring Adventures, produced by Mitchell Froome. I believe this is the UK first press, but I'll just double check. And then I think a quirky record that I really, really enjoy, and you'll see the David Fripp King Crimson thread all the way through here. This is Sacred Songs by Daryl Hall, and this was produced by Robert Fripp, and he plays guitar on some of the tracks on here. This is one of my guilty pleasures. I love this record, and this is the I really think this is interesting. This is the US first press, but it's on the Black RCA label. Really, really, really interesting song. Record. Babs and Babs, I think, is the clear highlight. So there you have this eclectic selection from this eclectic collection. So we ended with Daryl Hall, and we started with Jimi Hendrix, and we veered through prog and metal and everything in between, soul and funk. So yeah, any questions, ping me. If you would like to be on the price list, it will go out 9 p.m. on Wednesday evening. That is Sydney time. And if you would like to be on the list but are not currently, drop me an email, stephen@shortcutsrecords.com.au. Bye.